Right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm going to try to turn my computer around so you can see these nice ladies that are with me here today. This is my witness right here, Heidi, if you can see her. And that's her sister that's here. She's not testifying, but she just wanted to be here today.
Good morning. We'd rather look at them than you, so
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
I'm gonna get some coffee.
Missy's trying to call. I'll catch you later.
Hey, y'all be sure to go vote. It's Tuesday.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Here's the actual,
Okay. These are
those
the
were
two.
not entered.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thames County Probate Court will come to order. If you'll raise your right hand, we'll go ahead and fall in at one time.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. First on the docket is cause number 117, the state Rachel Perez ballot below.
Balo.
Say it again.
Balo.
Balo. Thank you. All right, you may proceed, Counselor.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Judge Dean Brinkley here on behalf of the applicant Heidi Balo. And I guess the first witness that I would call, Judge, would be one of our witnesses to airship, Vanessa Ann Walker. Miss Walker, can you hear me okay? Hello, Miss Walker, can you hear me?
Is she on?
Yeah, we should have Vanessa Ann Walker and Kelly Walker on.
No, Kelly Ortega.
Kelly Ortega, I mean.
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, let me start with you, Mr. Ortega, and we'll hope that Mrs. Walker will join us shortly. Mr. Ortega, your name is Kelly Ortega, is that correct?
Kelly Ortega. Yes, sir.
Okay, and you are familiar with Rachel Perez Balo and her family?
Yes, I am.
How do you know them?
Through their dad and her first husband, Steve Balo, who was a friend of mine all through school.
Okay, so you've known them a number of years.
I've known them since they were born.
Okay, and you've had a chance to look at the document that we prepared called an affidavit of facts concerning the identity of heirs, have you not?
Yes, I have.
Okay, it says here that Mrs. Balo had been married to Stephen Troy Balo, and that marriage terminated in 2015. Does that seem correct to you?
Yes, when he passed away.
Okay. It also says that she was married to Daniel Richard Huntley, and that marriage ended in July of 2019. Do you agree with that?
As far as I know, I never met the Mr. Huntley, but yes, that's what Rachel had told me.
Okay. She was not married at the time of her death. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. She had two children. She had Heather Ferguson and Heidi Balo. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
There were no other children adopted by her or born to her. Is that correct?
Not that I'm aware of. No, sir.
She didn't have any other children that were brought into her home that she raised as her own. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. Now,
Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Now, we are telling the court she did not have a will. We could not find a will. Do you know of a will?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. And to the best of our knowledge, she's got a piece of property. It's her homestead, and the legal description is lot 66 at Falcon Point. You're aware that she owned a home at the time of her death. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And do you think that there's anybody else that has a claim to heirship besides Heather and Heidi?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay.
Mr. Ortega, my name's Lacey Rendon. You and I spoke on the phone. Do you remember our conversation?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And all those questions that have been asked, I'd already asked of you, but I want to ask, just to clarify a couple of things. She was married only twice, and that was to Stephen Balo and Daniel Huntley, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did she have any children with Mr. Huntley?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, and do you have a financial interest in the estate?
No,
And are you being paid for your testimony today?
absolutely not.
Okay, I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Your Honor, I have nothing further to this witness. Has Vanessa Ann Walker joined us yet?
I did not see her. Can someone text her or call
Okay,
her?
yeah, we're doing that. She's texting her now. So while we're waiting on that, Judge, I'll go ahead and call my client Heidi Bayo to testify.
Okay, you may proceed.
Okay, Mrs. Balo, let me ask you a couple things. You're the daughter of Rachel Perez Balo, is that correct?
Correct.
And you have one sister, is that correct? Your mother has no other children, is that right?
Correct.
Is it true that she was married 2 times, once to Stephen Balo and then again to Daniel Huntley?
Yes.
Okay, and she has not been married any other times, is that correct? And she was not married at the time of her death, is that correct?
Correct.
Your mom had no other children that she adopted or brought into her home to raise her own, is that correct? Okay. As far as the assets go, we've identified all of the assets that we can. Her real property, she had a business, and she had a couple of automobiles. Is that correct? All right. And the reason that we are filing this is there's a need for the administration of her estate, in that we need to divide her assets up and pay some debts. Is that correct? Okay. You have been chosen to serve in this capacity. Do you know of any reason why you could not serve in this capacity?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, your mom, she passed away on May the 31st, 2021. Is that correct?
Correct.
At the time of her death, she was living in Baytown, Chambers County, Texas. Is that right? And unfortunately, she was 53 years old at the time of her death. Is that right? Is that right? Okay, yeah. Now, we've looked for but have not found a will. Is that correct?
Correct.
To the best of your knowledge, she did not have a will. Okay. And we're asking the court to appoint you as the independent administrator of this estate, and your sister has agreed and consented to that. Is that correct? Okay. I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Yes.
Just a quick question for you, Ms. Balo. What efforts were made in order to search for a will for your mother?
I asked the attorney that she used for my dad.
Okay, did you search the house?
Yes.
Okay, and nothing was found?
Mhm.
Sorry, okay, I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Yeah, just to clarify, Ms. Balo, you actually lived in the house that your mom lived in. Is that correct? And so you continue to live there today. Is that right? And you've made a thorough search of the house, and you know where she kept her important papers, and you've looked for a will. Have you not? Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm not sure what to do with the absence of Vanessa Walker. We've
She found the email. She should know.
Let's
we
hold
think
on
she's
this
trying to
for a
log in.
moment.
We've
I'm sorry?
emailed her, but we texted her, Judge, and it looks like she's trying to log in. Can you wait a while longer?
Yeah, we're gonna decide, we're gonna move on, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
All right, let's go to cause number 132, the state of Pierre Leger. Good morning.
Ready to proceed, Your Honor?
You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Your name is Brenda Leger,
Yes, it is.
and you were married to Pierre Leger, is that correct?
Yes, I was.
How long were y'all married?
15 years.
Okay, and he passed away on September the 11th of this year, is that correct?
Yes, he did.
And he had his fixed place of residence in Chambers County when he
Yes.
passed away? How long did he live there?
47 years, I think.
Testified in this court
I did.
in July 4th of,
Yes,
and you recognize this to be a copy of the original will that you filed?
yes,
And you recognize his signature on that will?
yes.
As far as you know, he never revoked that will.
No, he did not.
Okay. And there's a necessity to probate his will,
Yes,
to divide up his assets. And he never, he didn't leave anything to any charity or governmental entities.
no,
He didn't have any children born to or adopted to him after the date of the will.
no,
He didn't get divorced after the date of the will.
I don't think so.
Okay. And the will named you as the independent executor,
Yes,
and you're not disqualified in any way from serving.
no,
And you're asking that the court approve your application and sign the order admitting the will of probate.
yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Order the will of probate and authorized letters. Thank you, Counselor Brenda. Good to see you. Take care.
Good to see you too, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, call number 133, the study William Doyle Music. Ms. Clapper, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Fine, good morning, ladies.
Good morning. All
You
right,
may proceed, Council.
thank you. Is your name Catherine Mary Music?
Yes,
And were you married to William Doyle Music Jr.?
yes,
And were you both residents of Chambers County, Texas for actually about 31 years before his death?
yes,
So this court does have jurisdiction over the estate of Mr. Music because he owns property here and he lived here for so long.
yes.
Now, during his lifetime, how many times was he married?
Once,
And that's to you.
yes,
And that was from January 27th, 1982 to October 24th of 2019.
yes,
Was he 66 years of age at the time of his death?
yes.
During his lifetime, how many children were born?
2,
And would you tell the court their names?
Daniel Bruce Music and William Doyle Music III.
And was any other child adopted by him
No,
or born to him by
No.
any other person
no,
or taken into as his, I know he's got 3 stepchildren that he loved dearly,
yes,
but he didn't adopt them.
no,
All right. And you have brought to the court or to me to attach this application, the will of William Doyle Music.
yes,
And I'm showing you that will and asking you if you were present at the time that this will was signed.
yes,
And looking at his signature, because I've gone to the signature page, you are familiar with his signature.
yes,
And that is indeed the signature of William D. Music Jr.
yes.
Now, where did y'all go to have this witness, the will witness?
To Cheryl Leake's office,
Or as the county
county
attorney?
attorney,
And in Miss Leake's office, you also knew the other witness,
Amy Tapp.
Amy Tapp, who's with us today.
Yes,
Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to offer the affidavit of Cheryl Leake, attesting to having been present at the time of the signing, and Ms. Tapp is here to prove it up with live testimony. Now,
Thank you, Council.
to your knowledge, at any time, was this will revoked by him?
no,
Did he ever prepare another one, go
No.
someplace and sign it?
no,
This is the one and only will.
yes,
Now, you are named, did he ever at any time say, I don't want to do this?
no,
Okay, that's what we call revoking. So that didn't happen. Now, in this will, it says that you would be the independent executrix of the estate, and you're willing to do that,
yes,
assume that responsibility. You have no criminal history of any type or a crime of moral turpitude that would prevent you from accepting letters testamentary, do you?
no,
All right. Now, is there any government agency of the state or charitable organization named, because you've read the will, right?
yes,
Is there any organization that's charitable named in the will as a devisee,
No.
beneficiary? And before his death, at any time, did the state of Texas or Medicaid have a claim against his estate?
no,
All right. Now, you also signed a proof of death and other facts, which essentially contains all the questions that I just asked you, and we're offering that, Your Honor, into evidence. Are you asking the court to admit the will to probate
yes,
and to grant you letters testamentary?
yes.
Your Honor, I'll go to the attesting witness. Would you state your name for the court, please?
Amy Tapp.
And Ms. Tapp, and let's see the date. I'm going to hand you this will. March 3rd of 2003. Where were you employed?
Chambers County Attorney's Office.
And did you know Miss Music and Mr. Music before they came in on that day?
Yes.
Okay, you know them from school and around the county.
The community, yes.
So on March the 3rd of 2003, they're in the county attorney's office.
Mhm.
Did Miss Music and Mr. Music specifically ask you to witness their wills?
Yes.
So there were 2 wills you were witnessing,
Mhm.
Mrs. Music's and Mr. Music's.
Yes.
And this is Mr. Music's.
Yes.
Now, I'm looking at the will that you reviewed it before today,
Mhm.
and you remember the Music's coming in.
Mhm.
And if you look at his signature on that page, right before that, last page.
Mhm.
Do you recognize his signature?
Yes,
All
I
right.
remember him standing
And
there.
what helps you recognize it is the next page, which has your signature. Is that correct?
Right,
So you and Miss Leek actually signed it in the presence of Mr. Music in one office at one time.
yes.
All right. That's all, Your Honor.
All right, everybody mentioned what a probate and authorized letters.
Thank you so much.
See ya. All right, cause number one, excuse me, 134, the state of Daniel James Dubial.
Dubial. Good morning, Your Honor. How are you?
Yeah, just like his spell.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may
This
proceed,
is
Counselor.
this is a personal friend of mine, Your Honor, so I don't have a client. I'm just gonna prove it up myself. That's all
Okay,
right.
we swore, that's quite all right. You may
Okay.
proceed.
Okay. Daniel James Dubiel died on July 12th, 2021 in Little Rock, Pulaski County, Arkansas. He was 70 years old at the time that he passed, and 4 years have not elapsed since the date that he died. And when we filed this application to probate, Mr. Dubiel had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County, Texas on the date of his death. He did die with a will, and we filed that will for probate. I would ask that the court take judicial notice that it has the original will in the file dated October 30th, 2013. To the best of my knowledge, that will was never revoked by Mr. Dubiel. It was self-proved, and there's no governmental agency of the state or charitable organization named in the will as a devotee. After the will was made, he did not have any children born to or adopted by him. No marriage was dissolved after he wrote that will. A necessity does exist for the administration of his estate, and the will does name his wife, Joan Marie Dubiel, to serve as independent executor without bond, and she is qualified. She's not disqualified. So we would ask the court admit the last will and testament of Dan Dubiel to probate and appoint his wife, Joan Marie Dubiel, as independent executor without bond, and the appraiser to be waived.
So done. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You have a good day yourself. Okay, let's go back to cause number 117. Counselor, is your witness arrived?
Yeah, yes, sir, she is. Thank you. Vanessa Ann
Is this your
Walker is on the line.
witness? Ms. Walker, would you unmute yourself?
Okay, how about now?
Good, and raise your right hand. We need to swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You can put your hand down. You may proceed, Counselor.
Hey, thank you, Judge. Ma'am, your name is Vanessa Ann Walker, is that correct?
Yes,
And you purport to know Rachel Perez Bayo, is that correct?
yes.
How did you know Miss Bayo?
We worked together at the Holiday Inn Beaumont Plaza in Beaumont, Texas.
Okay, your affidavit said you've known her since about 1993, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. Now you don't have an interest in her estate and you have not been paid to be here today, is that correct?
Oh, that's fine.
Correct.
Okay. Our investigation indicated that Mrs. Balo had been married 2 times, once to Stephen Balo and once to Daniel Huntley. Is that your understanding?
Yes,
There's no other marriages. She was never married to anyone else. Is that correct?
correct,
And she was not married at the time of her death. Is that correct?
correct.
Our investigation reveals that she had 2 daughters, Heather Ferguson and Heidi Balo. Do you know of any other children that were born to or adopted by the decedent?
No,
Did she bring any other children into her home to raise as her own?
no,
Okay. And we have looked for and have not been able to find a will. Do you know whether or not she had a will?
as far as I know, she didn't have a will.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Mr. Brinkley covered everything that I would have asked, so I have no questions of this witness.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, we rest. We presented on our witnesses and we rest. We have no other witnesses.
Okay, I'm gonna approve the judgment declaring heirship. And that line of fees, I know Ms. Renda must get paid.
Yes, Your Honor. We've talked to her yesterday and we've made arrangements to pay her.
Okay.
Yes, we had those discussions.
Judge, we've also asked that our client be appointed as the independent administrator for the estate. I think we've submitted that as well.
You have, I'm looking at the order granting independent administration
Yes, sir.
and authorizing letters. What about a bond amount?
Well, she's serving independent, Your Honor. I don't really believe she needs to have a bond. Her sister is not has not required. She's consented to her serving as independent administrator without bond.
Is there a requirement for a bond, Counselor?
I don't think there is in this case, Your Honor, because it's an independent administration.
If all the beneficiaries consented, I don't think there's a bond necessary.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, then I'm gonna approve the order granting independent administration, authorize letters of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank
Go
you.
Stros.
Go Stros, there you go.
Bye, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.